In the first press conference that we had, I remember quite vividly that one of your colleagues, in the person of Dale Elliott, he did ask us for an update on several matters. Two of the matters that he had asked us for updates on was the matter involving Shaka Dan Daniel, and also the matter involving the unfortunate death of Miss Kimberly De Leon. I must say that today I have an update on both of these matters, and I would like to apprise St. Lucia and St. Lucians of where we are. I also have an update on one of the matters that, of course, you all have been very interested in, which is the sexual misconduct of the senior officer in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. That too, I will be updating on. But again, I wanted to first invite you all to do the questions that you'll need to do before I give the relevant updates. And be certain that after I give the update, I will answer every question followed up on it. Okay? Thank you very much. So today is your day. I have one other announcement. It's my intention to take a short vacation of 1 month, which would start on the 4th of August. So I will return officially to office in September. Thank you very much. The floor is open to the media.
Yeah, Shaka.
Good morning, head table. Thanks again for accommodating us. My update on the investigation into the death of the canine. Where are we in that regard?
Ms. Seeley will offer some details in regards to this matter. You handle it? Mr. De Freitas, sorry, will offer some details on that matter.
Okay, good morning, press. Let me follow in the footsteps of Commissioner Mr. Garde in welcoming you here today for this press conference. Okay, so the death of Officer Tyson remains a very serious under serious investigation at this point. In fact, a team has been put together to investigate the cause of Tyson's death. And so one of the major areas that we need to clarify is the cause of death of Tyson. As we speak, necropsy has been performed on Tyson. We do have initial reports from the veterinary pathologist who did that particular procedure. What we've done is to have taken samples from Tyson. These samples are with our forensic lab as we speak. And so, as soon as these samples are diagnosed, then we can tell you exactly what the cause of death was in relation to Tyson. We do have an initial report from the veterinary pathologist, like I said. However, he is waiting on the results of toxicology to give us a more informed outcome of what his findings may be. And so it is at this point we are with the investigation regarding Tyson. Thank you.
Will Tyson be getting a military funeral, considering it was an officer within the RSLPF?
Dr. Seeley, you want to?
So a team will be put together as soon as we are assured that the veterinarian and the lab has everything that they need to ensure that the toxicology testing is done. a team will be put together so that a funeral will be planned for Officer Tyson.
What type?
So, Commissioner has decided that Officer Tyson will receive an official funeral.
We saw earlier on that you had a lot of, how you call that again? A lot of, I'm looking for the word there.
Operation?
Yeah, right. Operations where you got firearms. You went into graveyard, you went into right areas, right. The consistency, while it started, it was hot, but it have all of a sudden that we are not seeing that consistency now. Before, I've always said that is the consistency in the operations that will help you get the guns, and we are not seeing the consistency. Okay, so what's with the, it was hot and all of a sudden now it have been.
Okay, so let me first dispel the notion that, you know, in your own palace that it was hot and it is no longer. So as a matter of fact, we have increased twofold the number of operations within the city and around the city. I think on our last at our last press conference, we would have reported somewhere in the region of 40 plus firearms having been recovered thus far for the year. To this date now, that has increased to 60 plus. And all of these firearms, most of these firearms have been recovered by sustained, strategic and targeted operations in and around the city center. As a matter of fact, Commissioner has just commissioned another patrol unit to give support to the already existing patrol unit. So I want to dispel any notion at all from the press that we have receded in the number of operations carried out in and around the city center.
My second question goes to the Commissioner. Presently, with all again the crime, do you think that community policing would play a big role happening? Some more community, the police with the community getting involved?
One of the things that will work for law enforcement is for us to try to communicate to the public exactly what the picture of crime, criminality, and response is. And again, I must lend a little bit on what was said by Mr. De Freitas a short while ago. When we see situations and we overgeneralize, in my opinion, it offers for, you know, a very pungent concoction for the public. We have to be sure that we are certain with all allegations that we are making, and we are very clear. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has been consistent in its delivery of operations in the organization for the past year. Very consistent. Every week, we see 3 or 4 operational targets. These can be reflected in the amount of applications of warrants to search and warrants to arrest that are being applied for at the respective courts. Up to this week, we have executed more than 6 warrants. And I'm aware that as early as this morning, we were in operational mode. The thing is, when the police have some of the perpetrators on the run, they become a bit desperate and they become a bit careless in the acts that they perpetrate. But the Royal St. Lucia Police Force will continue to manage them appropriately. In my opinion, we have done a lot over the respective period, culminating in the recovery of over 4,200 rounds of ammunition that have registered that could have been a life lost to several people. We will continue in that charge consistently. During my opportunity here in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, we have seen some unfortunate incidences. However, we must point out that in most of these cases, some of the victims have been persons that are known to law enforcement for nefarious activities. I must repeat, in most of these cases, these are people that are known to law enforcement for notorious activities. So we will continue to put on the pressure, and of course, at some point there will be a bottleneck, and they will get desperate, and they will try other things, that we are putting things in place to manage them.
Question to Mr. De Freitas again. We've seen a number of homicides within the Castries area. Could you give me any updates on what's happening with these homicides?
It's remain on a very active investigation. I can tell you overall, out of the 39 homicides for the year so far, we've been arrested and we've proffered charges in 13 of those homicides. A number of these homicides we have very good leads on, and we're working assiduously to bring them to a close, at least at the charging stage for now. Again, because of the sensitivity of a lot of these investigations, there is very little that I can bring out here at this conference, but I can tell you that we are on top of what is happening in terms of our investigations into these homicides.
Yeah. So can I get this is for the Commissioner, can I get drowned in Rodney Bay? There was allegations that some of his belongings was actually found outside of the hotel, and the family also said that, allegedly, that they didn't give permission to actually carry out an autopsy. So can you just give me an update on that, please?
I'm not too sure in what jurisdiction globally that a sovereign country has to look for permission to carry out investigations on any homicide. A big part of an investigation is for us to ascertain the cause of death. The cause of death could only be ascertained through a proper examination of the corpse. And that is what the approach for law enforcement globally will do. So there's no way that we would take or receive instructions, okay, to carry out our investigations in a way that would take from the essence of the investigation. The matter, I was informed, is currently under active investigations. I have given the instruction to prefer a copy of the file and enclose a copy of the file to the family when it becomes available. And in my opinion, that's the right of the family. Our approach here in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force is to work closely with the victims and the family of the victims to ensure that our activities are transparent.
Okay, so with regards to his property being found outside of the hotel, in keeping with our inquiries and information we've gotten thus far, we are not surprised that his property would have been found outside of the hotel. In fact, I can come out openly and say he left the hotel compound with his property. So it being found outside comes as no surprise to us as the police, based on information we are privy to. Thanks.
in any way, does the police suspect any foul play in his death based on preliminary investigations?
Let me say that we want to be very sensitive about the situation. It is one where we are still collating or collecting information that we can put together to get an overall insight of what may have happened. And so at this point, and again, because of the family's own interpretation of what may have happened, we do not want to come out and make any blanket statement at this point. However, we are treating the incident like we would treat any other death, whether suspicious or otherwise. Yes.
I'm not sure if there was an update regarding I'm not sure, was there an update regarding Shimon Augustine's murder in terms of what time it happened and any other information?
Mr. De Freitas?
Who?
Shimon Augustine.
The footballer?
The footballer.
Shimon Augustine.
Oh, yes. You were asking?
What updates, any information in terms of the time, what happened, any investigations, updates, anything like that?
Okay, so at this point, we are still in the process of trying through the use of CCTV to gather as much footage as we can and piece them together, because you would understand that the incident would have occurred over a distance and not just in one particular location. So we are still trying to piece together all of the bits we're getting from CCTV footage so we can get a clear idea of what exactly may have transpired. At this point, I can tell you that, of course, he was stabbed, and his cause of death would have been excessive bleeding. So this is as far as I will go at this point in relation to Shimon Augustine. Like I said, the incident would have occurred over a particular area, not just in one location. Yes. So, of course, our attention would have been drawn to it at Sanssouci. But there are other areas involved in the investigation, like I said. So, just one bit of footage would not put us in a position to have an overall insight of what may have happened.
So I think we can now move on to some of the...
Is it working out? Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to get an update on the police officers that was put on disciplinary leave last month. Yeah, the traffic officers.
Yes, so to facilitate the commencement of investigations into that matter, the officers were allowed some short leave, a few days leave. They are back on duty but reassigned, and that is where it is at this point. No, they're reassigned. Yeah? They are reassigned.
Was there a recent incident involving a marine chase? Could be a vessel coming from St. Vincent or heading to St. Vincent by the RSLPF unit?
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force was alerted by the Vincentian authorities of a matter that had happened within their territorial waters. The matter involve the confrontation of personnel on 2 vessels. Consequent to that, 2 persons were deemed to have received some injuries and could not be found as of yesterday. I do not know the exact position today. I know that St. Lucia have given support to the St. Vincent Police in the area of sins of crime. We have actually intercepted these 2 vessels, one of which are in the possession of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force Marine Base, and the other with the Vincentian Police. We do have some very good leads on that particular matter. The investigations are going on. We are having what we call a transnational approach to crime management for this one. All the necessary authorities have been alerted. We are, in my view, on top of this matter, and I have no doubt that very soon, if it has not happened as yet, since we're in the press conference, that we will have certain arrests being made on that.
The injuries sustained, were they gunshot injuries?
Yes, they were.
Were they shot by St. Lucia Police, Vincentian Police?
The matter is not one involving the police. The matter is one involving occupants of one vessel and occupants of another vessel. One vessel does not offer a registration. However, the other vessel is registered to St. Lucia. So it is not a matter where the police are involved in that particular matter. Okay? So I want to quickly move on. I know everybody's pressed for time this morning and we have to go and enjoy our Tila Day ourselves. Okay? 2 weeks ago, 3 press conferences ago, I did say that when the information becomes available, I would make it available in regards to the allegations against the senior officer for sexual misconduct. I did make a pronouncement that I sent all 4 of the respective files to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. I must say that this morning I had a conversation with the Director of Public Prosecution, who has been able to go through the first 3 files in that matter, and the Director of Public Prosecution has instructed that there is absolutely no prospect of legal proceedings on any one of these matters. This is as much as I have to say on that particular matter. Any questions? Since we have no questions on this matter, I want to say that we did report that we would aggressively pursue the perpetrators of the Kimberly DeLeo matter. And I was informed up until yesterday by the investigator that we had a very good breakthrough on the matter, very, very good breakthrough. And consequent to that breakthrough, we needed to secure the exhibits. We had to follow up with the exhibit room and also the Special Service Unit AMRI. And as we speak today, we are not in a position to have secured this exhibit. So that is the current position. We do have a good breakthrough. The breakthrough has led us to have more interest in the exhibit. We have tried to locate the exhibit, and we are not in a position to locate this exhibit as we speak. This is the Kimberly DeLeo matter. We did call Ms. DeLeo's mother, and we informed her of our current position, because that is the kind of approach that we think that we should have on all matters, and she is apprised of these details. In regards to the Shakadan Daniel matter, the police has had a renewed vigor in pursuing this matter. Renewed vigor. Because we have actually conducted a search to ascertain the position of the exhibits in that particular matter, the exhibit being a noose. The search was carried out on Monday, and subsequent to the search, I must be honest with the people of St. Lucia, we are in a position where the exhibit itself has been removed from its sealed position, and it is no longer available for assessment by the RSLPF. So the noose is missing. It's a very unfortunate situation, a very sad situation, but of course, it is one that has caused my office to have more vigor to pursue closure of this particular matter. Because I will not stand by and reside in an institution where exhibits go missing. So we will hear a little more about that at our next press conference.
What does that mean for the, you said it has given you more vigor to pursue, but what would that mean for the outcome of the investigation when a key piece of evidence is now missing?
Well, it's obvious that with the disappearance of any piece of evidence from any matter, it now taints the matter and makes closure to the matter more difficult. However, it is also an indicator of other interests or other interested parties in this matter, because generally we do not see the disposition of exhibits in that particular matter. So it has energized my office to look a little closer, to bring a little closure to that matter in regards to the late Shakadan Daniel.
And that would, I guess that sentiment would be the same for the Kimberly layoff?
Certainly. So these are the updates that I wanted to prefer to your great office today. I want to thank you for coming.
Just one more question. The senior officer, the senior officer, the probing to the senior officer, there's one on file missing. When can we get an update on?
The kind of individual that I am, my brother, as soon as the information becomes available from the relevant office, I will provide the information contemporaneously as soon as it becomes available.